Welcome to Daily Global Motivation, the place where ambition awakens, discipline sharpens, and ordinary people rise into extraordinary leaders. And today you are stepping into a message that will activate your hunger for greatness like never before. You are here because something inside you refuses to settle for average. Something inside you believes you were born to build, expand, grow, and create a life that echoes beyond your lifetime. This is not just a channel. This is your personal evolution plan, your training arena, your daily mission source for unstoppable growth. Today's message will show you exactly how Jeff Bezos started small, so small the world ignored him, and built an empire so large the world could never ignore him again. If you're ready to build your life from the ground up with clarity, precision, patience, and unstoppable momentum, then stay right here, because this message was designed for your rise. Before we begin, hit that subscribe button so you never miss another message that pushes you to your full potential. Smash the like button because your energy sends a signal that you're ready to level. Drop a comment declaring dream, mission, and the empire you're building. Because writing your vision is the first thing that wants to make you a real. Share this message with someone who needs to wake up their power and step into their greatness. Your new chapter starts now. Your new story begins today. The world is about to witness a stronger, sharper, and more unstoppable version of you emerging from this moment. Lock in, breathe deep, and let's build your empire from the very foundation of possibility. Starting small is not a disadvantage. It is the most powerful starting point in the world, because it forces you to innovate, adapt, and grow your position. Jeff Bezos began his journey with a tiny garage, surrounded by simplicity, scarcity, and determination. Then he used his environment to overcome limitations. You must realize that small beginnings train your instincts, sharpen your decisions, and build the resilience required for global impact. Starting small teaches you to value every instinct, optimize every step, and analyze every move. When you begin small, you learn to be strategic instead of wasteful, intentional instead of reckless, and visionary instead of impulsive. Small beginnings force you to focus on what truly matters: your mission, your execution, and your long-term plan. You must stop underestimating the power of humble starts and begin seeing them as the birthplace of greatness. Every empire in history began as a small idea carried by a bold mind. Starting small gives you the hunger that privilege cannot create. It gives you the grit that comfort cannot build. It teaches you to fight smarter, think deeper, and execute stronger. The size of your beginning does not determine the size of your future. Your mindset does. And when you embrace the strength of starting small, you unlock the foundation for an empire the world will one day celebrate. To start small like Bezos, you must learn to obsess over the customer, because customer obsession becomes the engine of every successful empire. Jeff Bezos built Amazon by focusing ruthlessly on customer experience, reliability, convenience, and value, and that obsession became the foundation of exponential growth. You must understand that certain people in excellence builds loyalty that money cannot buy. When you obsess over adding value, the world eventually obsesses over your brand. You must train yourself to think from the user's perspective, anticipate needs, solve problems, and exceed expectations. Customer obsession forces you to innovate consistently, adapt quickly, and deliver solutions that resonate. It pushes you to stand out in a market. Every great empire builds on the ability to solve human problems with extraordinary consistency. You must let your vision evolve around impact, not impact. When you prioritize people prioritize your business. Customer obsession is the long-term fuel behind every global success story. And once you adopt this principle as your foundation, your small beginning becomes unstoppable to growth. Starting invest in a future your present cannot yet see. Long-term thinking removes impatience and replaces it with strategy. It frees you from the trap of short-term validation and positions you for long-lasting success. You must be willing to plant seeds today that may not grow until years later. Long-term vision makes you resilient through setbacks because you understand that temporary difficulties do not define your destiny. It helps you maintain perspective, stay committed, and avoid quitting too early. When you master long-term thinking, you stop reacting and start creating. You build systems instead of shortcuts, habits instead of hype, and foundations instead of fantasies. And once long-term vision becomes your identity, starting small becomes the smartest move you will ever make. To build your empire from humble beginnings, you must embrace calculated risk, because growth cannot happen without stepping into the unknown. Jeff Bezos took a massive leap by leaving a stable career, stepping into uncertainty, and taking a risk that most people would never dare to take. You must understand that risks are not methods, they are necessary investments in your future. Calculated risk requires courage, preparation, and deep conviction in your mission. Without this, you remain trapped inside the boundaries of safety, comfort, and predictable outcomes. But with risk, you open the door to exponential growth, innovation, and opportunity. You must learn to handle and then move decisively. Fear will always try to stop you. Courage must always lead you. Every big opportunity in your life will be wrapped in uncertainty. Risk is the price of progress. You must be willing to feel uncomfortable, vulnerable, and unsure because it is the emotional labor of every revolution with idea. Once you embrace calculated risk, your small start becomes the beginning of a powerful transformation. Starting small shafts of unbreakable work ethic, because you cannot build a global empire on minimal effort. Jeff Bezos worked with intensity, precision, and consistency long before the world recognized his brilliance. You must adopt a similar work ethic and use a rise from small beginnings to great influence. Hard work is not punishment, it is the training ground that shapes you into a leader. You must be willing to show a burn, stay and push beyond comfort. Work ethic builds credibility, mastery, and momentum. It separates dreamers from achievers. You must commit fully to your mission. Even when results are slow, hard work compounds into skill, and skill compounds into success. You must see your effort as an investment into the empire you're building. While others seek shortcuts, you must seek excellence. And once extraordinary work ethic becomes your standard, your small start becomes an unstoppable force. To rise from a small beginning, you must embrace experimentation, because innovation happens when you try, fail, learn, and improve. Jeff Bezos built Amazon through constant experimentation, testing ideas, analyzing results, and iterating without fear. You must adopt the same mindset of fearless trial and error. Experimentation gives you data, insight, and experience that no textbook can teach. You must be willing to test new strategies, explore new directions, and pursue new opportunities. Failure is not a sign to stop. It is a signal to adjust. Experimentation accelerates learning and helps you evolve faster than your competition. It keeps your creativity alive and prevents stagnation. You must allow yourself to explore without judgment. Each experiment becomes a stepping stone to a mastery. Innovation favors the brave, the curious, and the adaptable. And once experimentation becomes part of your identity, your small beginning becomes a playground. You limit possibilities. To build an empire, you must master reality, because managing limited resources with precision sets the foundation for massive expansion later. Jeff Bezos practiced extreme efficiency in Amazon's early days, optimizing every dollar, every tool, and every system. You must learn to do the same. Frugality teaches discipline, creativity, and resourcefulness. It forces you to prioritize what truly matters, eliminates what doesn't. You must learn to maximize the living power, transforming scarcity into strategic strength. start of your approach, your small start becomes financially powerful and scalable. Starting small requires building strong systems, because empires grow through structure, scalability, and smart processes. Jeff Bezos focused on building systems that could withstand growth, expansion, and global impact. You must understand that a system-driven approach multiplies efficiency and eliminates chaos. Systems create consistency, reliability, and predictability. You must build workflows that simplify your operations and strengthen your execution. Systems help you scale without losing control. They free your mind for creativity and innovation. Building systems early in your journey will save you years of struggle later. You must focus on processes rather than relying on willpower alone. Systems turn small efforts into big results, and once you master system building, your small start becomes a scalable empire in the making. To rise like Bezos, you must cultivate resilience, because every small beginning comes with setbacks, failures, criticism, and uncertainty. Jeff Bezos endured countless challenges during Amazon's financial pressure, operational chaos, market skepticism, but he refused to break. You must develop the same emotional and mental strength. Resilience allows you to keep moving from problem to solve. When results delay, and when obstacles multiply, you must train your mind to recover quickly from failures and restart without hesitation. Resilience is the armor of every empire builder. It turns pain into courage, adversity into advantage, and hardship into growth. You must see challenges as training, not punishment, to strengthen your resilience. It has to be learned. And once resilience becomes part of your character, starting small becomes a journey to dominate rather than fear. To rise from a small beginning like Bezos, you must develop a powerful obsession with learning, because knowledge is the fuel that accelerates your growth. Jeff Bezos studied industries, systems, patterns, customer psychology long before he disrupted them. You must become a student of life, business, human behavior, and opportunity. Learning expands your perspective and sharpens your vision. You must read, watch, observe, analyze, and absorb information that strengthens your strategy. The more you learn, the more confidently you make decisions. Knowledge gives you an unfair advantage because it allows you to see opportunities others overlook. Learning turns confusion into clarity and doubt into direction. You must treat your mind as your greatest investment. Every new skill becomes a tool for building your empire. Learning keeps you adaptable, relevant, and innovative. You must pursue knowledge with hunger, intensity, and humility. When you expand your mind, you expand your destiny. Once learning becomes your lifestyle, your small beginning becomes unstoppable in its growth. To build a global empire, you must embrace patience, because true success takes time, dedication, and long-term consistency. Jeff Bezos spent years building foundations that many people never saw, committed to a future that was invisible to the world, but crystal clear to him. You must adopt that same long-term patience, because rushing leads to sloppy decisions and wasted potential. Patience does not mean waiting, it means working with persistence while trusting the process. You must allow time to compound your efforts and magnify your results. Impatience causes burnout, frustration, and premature quitting. Patience fuels resilience, clarity, and unstoppable momentum. You must learn to sit with the long seasons of your life, knowing they are shaping your future strength. The problem is that you remain patient when others rush and quit. Patience keeps you focused on the mission instead of the immediate outcomes. You must trust the slow growth that leads to explosive growth. And once patience becomes your strength, your small beginning becomes the perfect foundation for massive expansion. To rise from learning like Bezos, you must commit to operational excellence, because an empire is not built on chaotic actions, but on precise execution. Jeff Bezos built Amazon with a constant focus on improving systems, refining processes, and eliminating inefficiencies. You must reflection of your character. Operational excellence strengthens your reputation and accelerates your growth. It teaches you to deliver consistently at a level that others cannot match. You must set high standards for yourself and your work. Excellence is not perfection, it is dedication to doing your best every single day. When excellence becomes your habit, your output becomes impossible to ignore. And once operational excellence becomes your default mode, your small start evolves into global level quality. To build a global empire, you must cultivate innovation, because innovation keeps you ahead of the curve. Jeff Bezos wasn't afraid to challenge traditional retail models. He embraced bold ideas long before they became mainstream. You must become someone who thinks differently, dreams boldly, and experiments fearlessly. Innovation begins with curiosity and grows through execution. You must explore new solutions, new approaches, new technologies, and new possibilities. Innovation requires courage, because not everyone will understand your ideas. You must be willing to challenge norms and disrupt outdated systems. Innovation is the heartbeat of global growth. Each new idea you test brings you closer to your breakthrough. You must train your mind to see opportunities in problems and advantages in limitations. Innovation keeps your empire alive, relevant, and evolving. And once innovation becomes your mindset, your small beginning becomes a laboratory full of world-changing ideas. To rise from small beginnings, you must embrace adaptability, because the marketplace, technology, and customer preferences are constantly changing. Jeff Bezos adapted Amazon, continuously expanding products, improving shipping, optimizing logistics, and evolving with the world. You must develop this flexibility to think without fear. Adaptability allows you to respond quickly to challenges and seize emerging opportunities. You must remain creative and embrace evolution. Stubbornness destroys dreams, but adaptability builds empires. You must listen, learn, observe, and adjust. When you adapt, you stay relevant, competitive, and innovative. Adaptability eliminates the fear of change, because it becomes a natural part of your success journey. You must evolve your strategies as you gather new information and experiences. The most adaptable leaders rise the fastest. And once adaptability becomes your strength, your small beginning can evolve into limitless possibilities. To build your empire from scratch, you must develop relentless consistency, because consistency transforms small habits into massive achievements. Jeff Bezos showed up every single day, working quietly, steadily, and strategically toward a vision that most people never understood. You must build the discipline to show up even when you don't feel like it. Consistency multiplies your progress and strengthens your identity. It turns effort into results, results into momentum, and momentum into domination. You must commit daily to your vision, your goals, and your self-improvement. Consistency makes you reliable, focused, and unstoppable. While others quit when it's difficult, you must persist until it's done. Consistency rewards effort even when motivation fades. You must remind yourself that small daily actions build empires over time. And once consistency becomes part of your identity, your small beginning becomes an unstoppable force of progress. To rise from a small start, you must build trust, because trust is the currency that sustains long-term impact. Jeff Bezos built Amazon on trust in delivery, trust in pricing, trust in convenience, trust in customer care. You must develop trustworthiness in your character, your actions, and your leadership. Trust creates a culture of reputation and worthiness. You must deliver what you promise, only what you can deliver. Trust is built through transparency, honesty, and reliability. You must communicate clearly, act with integrity, and operate with consistency. Trust turns customers into supporters, supporters into ambassadors, and ambassadors into a global community. Trust is slow to build, powerful once established. You must protect it fiercely. Once trust becomes your foundation, your small start becomes the beginning of something legendary. requires creativity, focus, and smart decision-making. You must differentiate between investments and distractions. Every dollar saved can be reinvested into growth, innovation, and expansion. Frugality isn't about deprivation. It's about strategy. You must avoid unnecessary expenses that drain your mission. Frugality trains your mind to prioritize value over vanity. It develops a lean, efficient empire rooted in sustainability. And once frugality becomes your advantage, your small beginning becomes financially strong and scalable. To rise from small beginnings, you must learn to simplify complexity, because simplicity creates speed, clarity, and efficiency. Jeff Bezos simplified Amazon's mission to the core: make customers' lives easier. You must learn to distill your ideas, systems, and goals into clear, actionable components. Complexity creates confusion, but simplicity creates execution. You must cut unnecessary steps, reduce friction, and focus on what matters most. Simplicity makes your strategy easy to follow and your vision easy to scale. You must train yourself to break big goals into small, measurable actions. Simplicity accelerates decision-making and eliminates overwhelm. You must avoid overthinking and embrace straightforward execution. When simplicity becomes your approach, growth becomes easier and faster. Once you master simplicity, your small beginning becomes a streamlined pathway to global expansion. To build a global empire, you must cultivate mental resilience. It is leadership comes from stress, criticism, and massive responsibility. Jeff Bezos faced intense pressure from investors, competitors, and doubters. You must develop the same mental strength. Mental resilience allows you to stay calm under pressure, think clearly during chaos, and remain confident during uncertainty. You must train your mind daily to stay centered, focused despite distractions. Stress is inevitable, but breakdown is optional. You must build practices that strengthen momentum, foundation reflection, planning, discipline, rest, and purposeful action. Mental resilience makes you unshakable in the face of adversity. It helps you stay motivated when results lack, hopeful when challenges grow, and unbreakable when others collapse. And once mental resilience becomes your weapon, your small beginning becomes the beginning of a fearless journey toward greatness. To rise from a humble beginning like Bezos, you must commit to delivering unmatched value, because value is what separates great businesses from forgotten ones. Jeff Bezos obsessed over creating the highest value for customers, knowing that when you offer more than anyone else, the world will naturally gravitate toward you. You must adopt this same obsession with delivering excellence, precision, and quality in everything you do. Value builds loyalty, loyalty builds momentum, and momentum builds empires. You must ask yourself daily, how can I create more value than anyone else? When your mission revolves around serving others, your impact grows exponentially. Value attracts opportunity, partnerships, and growth. You must focus on solving real problems with real solutions that people cannot ignore. Value is not just in what you offer, but how consistently you deliver it. You must train your mind to prioritize helpfulness over hype, substance over symbolism, and results over noise. The world rewards those who make life easier, better, simpler, or more meaningful. You must build an identity rooted in value creation. And once delivering value becomes your core principle, your small beginning becomes a magnet for global success. Start small like Bezos. You must become obsessed with legitimacy, because legitimacy earns respect even when your resources are limited. Jeff Bezos built Amazon with an emphasis on trust, reliability, and consistency long before it became a household name. You must understand that professionalism is not determined by pressure, but by mindset. Legitimacy means taking your mission seriously even when others don't. You must communicate clearly, act with integrity, and show it as brilliant. When you operate with legitimacy, people begin to see your vision before it becomes visible. Legitimacy attracts investors, partners, supporters, and worldwide. eventually treats it the same way. And once legitimacy becomes your identity, your small start becomes too powerful to overlook. To build a global empire, you must practice bold simplicity, because simple ideas executed powerfully are the ones that change the world. Jeff Bezos simplified Amazon's mission to one sentence: make things easier for customers. You must distill your vision into a simple, clear, unshakable purpose that drives your decisions. Simplicity gives you direction, speed, and clarity. You must avoid overcomplicating your goals with unnecessary tasks, distractions, or confusion. Simplicity sharpens your focus and strengthens your execution. It allows you to scale quickly and pivot effortlessly. You must learn to communicate your mission in ways anyone can understand. Complex ideas confuse people, but simple ideas convert them. You must simplify your systems, simplify your messaging, and simplify your strategy. Simplicity is a superpower disguised as minimalism. And once simplicity becomes your guiding principle, your small beginning becomes a streamlined powerhouse ready for global expansion. To rise from a small start, you must develop a relentless commitment to improvement, because constant improvement compounds into extraordinary success. Jeff Bezos built Amazon through continuous iteration, always refining, always optimizing, always striving to be better. You must adopt the spirit of never-ending growth. Improvement turns weaknesses into strengths and strengths into mastery. You must see progress every single day, even in small amounts. Improvement keeps you innovative and confident. You must analyze your results, adjust your approach, and upgrade your habits. Excellence is built through consistent refinement. Improvement requires humility, because it forces you to knowledge brings you better. But humility leads to learning, and learning leads to breakthrough. You must never become comfortable with your current level. There is always another level waiting for you. And once improvement becomes your obsession, a small start becomes a runway for limitless elevation. To rise like Bezos, you must learn to leverage technology, because technology multiplies your impact, efficiency, and reach. Jeff Bezos understood fully that digital infrastructure, automation, and innovation were essential for global growth. You must embrace technology as your partner, not your enemy. Technology helps small operations scale into global enterprises. It streamlines processes, cuts costs, and enhances your capabilities. You must learn tools that amplify your productivity and expand your presence. Technology eliminates geographical limits and opens pathways to global markets. It gives you speed, precision, and exposure. You must leverage it to build systems that work even when you're not actively working. Technology can turn a one-person effort into a worldwide movement. And once you embrace technology as a core part of your journey, your small beginning becomes connected to the entire world. To build a massive empire, you must focus on solving problems, because the greatest businesses on earth are built by people who fix what frustrates the world. Jeff Bezos created Amazon by solving the problem of convenience, access, and efficiency. You must train your mind to identify problems that need solutions, because problems are opportunities in disguise. A problem is an unclaimed empire waiting for someone brave enough to solve it. You must study the needs, struggles, and demands of people around you. Solve a problem effectively, and you build loyalty. Solve a problem better than anyone, and you build dominance. You must be observant, strategic, and empathetic. The world will build problem solvers, far more than dreamers. Problem solved increases your value and expands your reach. And once you adopt a problem-solving mindset, your small beginning becomes a powerful engine for global impact. To start small and succeed like Bezos, you must master the daily gratification, because empire building requires sacrifice before reward. Jeff Bezos made all of his decisions because of long-term pleasure. Instead of short-term pleasure, you must develop the discipline to choose progress over entertainment, purpose over distraction, and mission over innovation. Delayed gratification strengthens your mindset and reinforces your dreams. It and focus into the future version of yourself. Delayed gratification builds unstoppable individuals who refuse to settle. And once you master it, your small beginning becomes the incubator for massive future success. To rise from humble beginnings, you must identify your niche, because empires grow fastest when they start with precision. Jeff Bezos targeted books first, not because it was glamorous, but because it was strategic. You must stop trying to serve everyone and start dominating a specific area. Domination begins with specialization. You must become the best in one lane before expanding into many. A focused start accelerates growth, builds expertise, and strengthens your brand. You must find a niche where your value is unmatched and your skill is undeniable. The smaller your starting focus, the faster your impact grows. You must build depth before you build width. Master your niche, then scale. And once niche dominance becomes your strategy, your small beginning becomes a focused engine for rapid expansion. To rise from small beginnings, you must eliminate fear of failure, because failure is not a dead end, it is the feedback that guides your evolution. Jeff Bezos embraced failure as a necessary part of innovation. You must adopt the same mistake. Failure teaches you what works, what doesn't, and what you must improve. Fear of failure keeps people stagnant, but acceptance of failure turns people powerful. You must step up knowing that mistakes are not embarrassing, they are information. Failure sharpens your instincts and strengthens your resilience. Every failure removes ignorance and replaces it with wisdom. The more you fail, the more you learn, the more you evolve. You must treat failure as fuel rather than fear. And once you eliminate the fear of failure, your small beginning becomes unstoppable in its momentum. To build a global empire, you must cultivate vision and clarity, because clarity turns dreams into direction, and direction into domination. Jeff Bezos had a crystal clear vision of what Amazon could become long before anyone believed in it. You must define your vision with precision, intensity, and emotional depth. Clarity gives you focus, and focus gives you power. You must know why you're winning, what you're doing, who it's for, and where you're going. Without clarity, effort becomes scattered. But with clarity, every step becomes intentional. Clarity eliminates confusion, reduces hesitation, and amplifies execution. You must write down your vision, speak it daily, and embed it into your identity. When your vision becomes clear, everything else becomes easier. And once clarity becomes your guiding force, your small beginning becomes the blueprint for a global future. To rise from a tiny beginning like Bezos, you must master the art of consistency in execution, because consistent action transforms small ambitions into unstoppable realities. Jeff Bezos didn't build Amazon through occasional effort, he built it through daily discipline, steady progress, and relentless follow-through. You must commit to showing up every day, whether you feel inspired or not, because consistency creates momentum, and momentum creates breakthroughs. You must train yourself to execute with precision, clarity, and intention. Consistency teaches you to trust yourself and builds a track record of performance. The world rewards those who can stay committed long after motivation fades. You must eliminate the mindset of sometimes and embrace the mindset of always. Consistency. Turn small habits into extraordinary results. Every day you show up, you reinforce your identity as a builder, a leader, and a creator. Consistency separates dreamers from doers, amateurs from professionals, and wishers from achievers. When you remain consistent, you outlast competition, outgrow limitations, and outperform expectations. You must treat consistency as the foundation of your Every problem presents a challenge, a lesson, and a chance to grow. You must train your mind to respond with creativity instead of frustration. Problem solving expands your intelligence, strengthens your resilience, and magnifies your influence. The bigger the problem you solve, the bigger the opportunities that appear. You must become the person who searches for solutions instead of excuses. Problem solving builds empires, inspires trust, and solidifies your reputation. And once you embrace problems as gifts instead of burdens, your small start becomes a laboratory for revolutionary solutions. To rise like Bezos, you must cultivate a culture of extreme ownership, because responsibility is the engine that drives extraordinary success. Jeff Bezos took responsibility for Amazon's failures, mistakes, delays, and challenges, and that accountability built a foundation of trust. You must accept full ownership of your decisions, your habits, your results, and your destiny. Ownership means refusing to blame circumstances or people for your setbacks. When you take responsibility, you take control. Ownership empowers you to adapt, improve, and continue. You must be honest with yourself about what you need to change. Ownership forces you to confront weaknesses without excuses. It eliminates dependency on luck or external factors. You must hold yourself to a higher standard than anyone else can. Ownership builds confidence, because you prove to yourself that you can influence outcomes. Leaders are born from ownership, not excuses. And once ownership becomes your way of life, your small beginning becomes a mission, vitality and discipline. To build a global empire, you must embrace radical simplicity in communication, because clear communication builds strong cultures and unstoppable teams. Jeff Bezos crafted Amazon's internal communication around clarity, conciseness, and focus. You must learn to articulate your ideas with quiet precision. Simplicity creates alignment. You must avoid confusion, exaggeration, and clear communication turns visions into strategies into actions, and actions into results. You must learn to speak directly, write clearly, and lead with intention. Simplicity ensures everyone understands the mission and how to execute it. You must eliminate ambiguity from your leadership. Simplicity enhances speed, efficiency, and productivity. The simpler your message, the easier it is to scale. You must speak with conviction, clarity, and purpose. And once simplicity becomes your communication style, your small beginning becomes a movement others can follow. To rise from small beginnings, you must build resilience to criticism, because people will doubt you long before they understand you. Jeff Bezos was ridiculed, questioned, underestimated, and criticized, but he never allowed opinions to derail his mission. You must develop the strength to stay committed even when people don't support you. Criticism is not a verdict, it is merely noise. You must learn to filter out external negativity while staying deeply rooted in your purpose. Critics appear whenever you attempt something meaningful. You must recognize that those who doubt you often lack the courage to pursue their own dreams. Criticism strengthens your emotional armor. You must remain focused, composed, and unshakable. Growth demands that you outgrow the You must keep moving forward while others stay stuck in judgment. Criticism tests your commitment, but surviving equals your readiness for greatness. And once you become immune to criticism, your small beginning becomes a fearless march to a global empire. To build your empire on strength, you must master your time with absolute discipline, because time is the most valuable asset you possess. Jeff Bezos managed his time like a CEO. To rise like Bezos, you must embrace frugality of thought, because simple thinking often produces the most powerful outcomes. Jeff Bezos focused on essential questions and core principles rather than complex theories or overcomplicated strategies. You must train your mind to think lean, clear, and strategically. Frugality of thought means eliminating mental clutter. You must focus on what matters most: value, customers, execution, and innovation. Overthinking slows progress, but clarity accelerates it. You must learn to make fast, effective decisions grounded in logic and purpose. Frugal thinking cuts through confusion and reveals the path forward. It teaches you to operate with precision and efficiency. You must become mentally disciplined, emotionally centered, and strategically sharp. And once frugality of thought becomes your mindset, your small beginning becomes a focused engine of growth. To start small and scale massively, you must develop leadership that inspires trust, because leaders who inspire trust build teams that create miracles. Jeff Bezos built Amazon's culture through trust, accountability, and empowerment. You must learn to lead yourself before you lead others. Leadership begins with integrity and grows through consistency. You must communicate vision with passion, purpose, and clarity. Leaders lift others, not just themselves. You must build an environment where people feel valued, respected, and empowered. Trust multiplies when leaders embody their words through action. You must become maximize the tools, skills, and opportunities you currently have. Resourcefulness builds ingenuity, independence, and innovation. You must train yourself to find answers quickly and improvise effectively. When you are resourceful, nothing can stop your progress. Resourcefulness turns challenges into advantages and obstacles into breakthroughs. The fewer resources you have, the more powerful your resourcefulness must become. And once resourcefulness becomes your weapon, your small beginning becomes a springboard to exponential growth. To rise like Bezos, you must commit to thinking like an owner, because ownership mentality separates leaders from followers. Jeff Bezos approached Amazon with a long-term owner mindset, not a short-term employee mindset. You must learn to think in terms of responsibility, impact, and legacy. Owners think about the big picture. Owners protect the mission. Owners invest in the future. You must develop this mindset even if you are starting alone in a small room. Ownership drives discipline, initiative, and accountability. You must act with intention and build with purpose. When you think like an owner, take pride in every detail of your work. Ownership transforms your effort, decision making, and leadership. And once ownership becomes your identity, your small beginning becomes the start of building built to last. To rise from a small beginning like Bezos, you must build a mindset of constant momentum, because momentum multiplies your efforts and accelerates your journey to greatness. Jeff Bezos understood that consistent action creates a powerful forward force that becomes difficult to stop. You must commit to doing something each day that pushes your vision one step further. Momentum turns tiny progress into significant breakthrough. You must protect your momentum from distractions, negativity, and procrastination. Momentum is built by discipline, strength built by consistency, fueled by purpose. You must resist the temptation to use your progress for comfort or teachable. You must nurture your momentum like a fire that needs constant oxygen. And once momentum becomes your daily focus, your small beginning evolves into an unstoppable movement towards your empire. To build a global empire from scratch, you must treat feedback like a priceless resource, because feedback reveals blind spots and opportunities for improvement. Jeff Bezos used feedback from customers, employees, and data to sculpt Amazon into a masterpiece of efficiency and innovation. You must become humble enough to listen, brave enough to accept criticism, and wise enough to learn from it. Feedback is not meant to diminish you, but to elevate you. You must seek it actively, analyzing each insight with curiosity instead of defensiveness. Feedback allows you to refine your strategies, improve your systems, and upgrade your approach. You must learn to hear the truth even when it stings. Leaders grow because they embrace feedback, not because they avoid it. Feedback sharpens your skills and exposes your weaknesses. You must use it as a tool for growth, rather than a weapon against your confidence. The more feedback you embrace, the faster you evolve. And once feedback becomes your reliance, your small beginning turns into a precision-guided journey toward excellence. To rise from living like Bezos, you must practice long-term obsession, because global empires are built by people who remain committed long after others lose interest. Jeff Bezos kept Amazon's mission alive through decades of evolution, setbacks, and breakthroughs. You must commit to your dream with the same intensity, refusing to let time dilute your purpose. Obsession means waking up in time, going to sleep with intention. You must immerse yourself in your mission until it becomes part of your identity. Obsession fuels your discipline, creativity, and resilience. You must become the kind of person who relentlessly pursues passion. Obsession brings clarity to your decisions and direction to your actions. You must stay emotionally connected to the future you're building, the world you want to see. Obsessed with your goal of winning to push past average and embrace extraordinary. You must defend your obsession from doubts, distractions, and discouragements. And once long-term obsession becomes your lifestyle, your small beginning becomes the sign of a world-changing empire. To build an empire from small beginnings, you must train yourself to think in systems, because systems create scalability, stability, and sustainable success. Jeff Bezos built Amazon through an intricate network of systems that allowed the company to grow globally without collapsing under its own weight. You must understand that systems turn inconsistent effort into predictable results. Without systems, growth becomes chaotic. You must build processes that streamline your time, automate your tasks, and organize your operations. Systems give structure to your ambition. You must document your workflows, refine your methods, and optimize your routines. Systems allow small teams to perform like large organizations. You must think like an architect, building frameworks that support long-term expansion. Systems eliminate guesswork and reduce stress. You must improve your systems as your vision grows. And once system thinking becomes second nature, your small beginning becomes a scalable empire in motion. To rise like Bezos, you must learn to make bold, high-leverage decisions, because each major choice creates a ripple effect that shapes the future of your empire. Jeff Bezos made courageous decisions that defied logic, industry laws, public opinion, and those decisions created a global revolution. You must develop the courage to make decisions that align with your long-term vision, rather than more short-term comfort and high-leverage decisions that exponential consequences. You must evaluate the cost of inaction as carefully as the course of action. Indecision destroys progress, but decisive action builds momentum. You must trust your instincts, analyze data, and commit fully. Strong decisions require clarity, confidence, and clarity. You must learn to choose the hard way over the easy way. Leaders are defined by the decisions they make under pressure. You must make choices that serve your future self, not your present thoughts. And once decisive leadership becomes your identity, your small start becomes the foundation of life-changing growth. commitments. Discipline means doing the work even when you don't feel like it. You must remove excuses, eliminate distractions, and enforce boundaries that protect your goals. Discipline builds character and strengthens your resolve. It transforms chaos into structure and potential into performance. You must develop daily rituals that reinforce success. Discipline is not a punishment, it is a superpower. You must live with intention and operate with consistency. Discipline separates those who want success from those who earn success. And once discipline becomes your core strength, your small beginning becomes a disciplined march toward global impact. To rise from humble beginnings, you must embrace the mindset of continuous reinvention, because industries evolve and leaders must evolve with them. Jeff Bezos reinvented Amazon, repeatedly expanding from books to everything, from retail to cloud computing, from delivery to digital intelligence. You must avoid stagnation by constantly reinventing your approach, your skills, and your strategy. Reinvention keeps you relevant, adaptive, and innovative. You must be willing to shed old habits. Reinvention requires humility, because it forces you to admit when something no longer works. You must welcome change with enthusiasm instead of fear. Reinvention turns obstacles into opportunities and setbacks into new beginnings. You must become flexible and strong enough to evolve. Reinvention keeps your empire alive and expanding. And once continuous, reinvention becomes your passion. Your small beginning becomes the start of an unbelievable legacy. To build a global empire, you must become strategic and patient, because great expansion requires resilience and long-term perspective. Jeff Bezos built his empire with the patience of a master strategist, willing to endure short-term challenges for long-term rewards. You must learn to stay patient, focused, and committed even when results are not immediate. Patience prevents emotional decisions that sabotage progress. You must trust the process, believing that each step brings you closer to your destiny. Strategic patience teaches you to endure the seasons of preparation. You must embrace the idea that slow growth often becomes the strongest growth. Patience amplifies your wisdom and sharpens your intuition. You must be willing to wait for the right opportunities instead of forcing the wrong ones. The greatest builders are always patient and persistent. And once strategic patience becomes your strength, your small beginning becomes a future empire waiting to unfold. To rise like Bezos, you must cultivate the courage to expand beyond your comfort zone, because global growth requires global thinking. Jeff Bezos stepped into industries he had never mastered: logistics, media, cloud infrastructure, artificial intelligence, and dominated them through courage and curiosity. You must train your mind to embrace challenges that stretch your abilities. Growth lives outside your comfort zone. You must learn to feel uncomfortable and still move forward. Courage expands your identity and multiplies your potential. You must be willing to learn new skills, explore new markets, and push beyond your current capabilities. Comfort is the enemy of greatness. You must reject stagnation and pursue expansion fearlessly. Courage opens doors that comfort keeps closed. And once courage becomes your compass, your small beginning becomes a bold journey into the unknown. To build an empire from nothing, you must believe in the value of your mission with unshakable conviction, because belief fuels action and action creates legacy. Jeff Bezos believed in Amazon long before the world believed in it. You must develop an internal conviction that no external influence will modify. Belief gives you resilience, confidence, and purpose. You must repeat your mission until it becomes part of your identity. Belief mentality to take risks over fear. It strengthens your courage, your persistence, and your determination. You must protect your belief from doubt, negativity, and fear. The world cannot believe in your dream until you believe in it first. Belief transforms ordinary people into empire builders. You must nourish your vision daily until it becomes the powerful people into empire builders. You must nourish your vision daily pioneers, someone curious, hungry, and full of unrealized potential. But now you stand here as someone capable of creating, scaling, building, innovating, and transforming your life and the world around you. Starting small is not a limitation. It is your greatest advantage because it gives you the hunger that comfort cannot create, the focus that abundance cannot teach, and the resilience that privilege cannot provide. Your dreams do not require perfection, they require commitment. They require boldness. They require belief. You are not behind. You are beginning. You are not small. You are strategic. And you are not lost. You are rising. What you start today may one day become the empire that changes everything. Your story is not defined by where you came from, but by where you are going. And you are going somewhere extraordinary. If this message awakens something powerful inside you, then amplify it. Subscribe to Daily Global Motivation so you never miss another message that ignites your inner greatness. Like this video to show the world you are committed to your revolution. Comment your biggest dream, your mission, or your empire in progress. Declare it boldly and make it real. Share this video with someone who needs encouragement, strength, and purpose today. Your small beginning is not the end. It is the launch pad to your empire. Your greatness is waiting. Your future is calling, and now it's your move.